Hey everyone, and welcome to the 11th day of Christmas. We are almost there. Today I just wanted to share with you guys like a little get ready with me, but it will be using some new products. So I only have like 3 new products to share with you guys, but it's going to be like a first impressions on these 3 products. And the first one is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I got mine in the shade Classic Ivory, which I hope matches. I also got the Rimmel Kate Moss highlighting palette. I don't know if this is new actually, but I have not seen it before in Drugstore, so I thought I would test it out in front of you guys today. And I also got the Rimmel magnif'eyes Color Edition eyeshadow palette, which I'm pretty sure this is new. I've never tried one of these Rimmel palettes before, so this will be super exciting. And yeah, I hope you have been enjoying this series and that you enjoy this video. For anyone who's been watching since the start or just watching random videos in this 12 days of Christmas series, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means a lot. I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos that I've been putting out and that you've been having a good holiday season as well. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into this video. Thank you for watching and enjoy. I'm gonna start off by applying this foundation. I'm gonna apply it with my L'Oreal sponge. I'm not sure if this color match is correct. I kind of just guessed because they don't really have testers in the drugstore. I think it'll be okay. It's blending out really easily with a sponge. I'm not really having an issue with it like drying fast on me or anything. And it does have really good coverage. Like this is solid coverage. I can't really complain about this coverage at all. I think it looks really flawless. Color match as well isn't looking too bad. It looks pretty good in the mirror in front of me. I don't know if my lighting is throwing the colors off a little bit, but it's definitely a pretty good match. It doesn't like oxidize. I find with a lot of Maybelline foundations, they turn really orange on my skin. Hopefully this one doesn't oxidize at all. It's dried down to like a complete powdery finish, like set completely, like there's no stickiness or tackiness at all. I don't really want to apply a second layer to this. Like some spots are still kind of poking through, but for the most part it looks really nice. So I think I'm just gonna stick with 1 layer. I'll update you guys in the description bar below how it lasts, that you guys know what it looked like at the end of like an 8-hour day once I've worn it more. But definitely off initial application, I really like it. It's probably my favorite Maybelline formula for foundation so far. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I'll be back to test out the highlighter palette and the eyeshadow palette. So I didn't end up setting my entire face. I only set my under eye concealer. My bronzer and brush blended out beautifully on top of this foundation. I didn't skip over my skin. There's no patchiness or anything. I don't feel like this is a foundation you need to set unless you get super oily. And then I wanted to try out this Rimmel highlighting palette. I have the same palette, but it's the contour palette with the blush, bronzer, and highlighter. This one is just highlighters, and it came with 3 very distinct tones, which I thought was nice. I think I'm going to mix this pinky shade right here with the gold in the middle. Oh, there's like a ton of kickback with these. So I will say right off the bat, I find these powders to be really dry, and they did have a lot of kickback. Definitely a drier formula than the highlighter in the contour trio that I have. Not the same formula as that one. That highlighter is really creamy and really nice, and it doesn't feel powdery at all or dry at all. Whereas these ones, at least these 2 shades up here, they do feel quite dry. They do look really pretty though. Like it gives your face a nice reflective glow to it. There's no glitters or anything, which is nice. It's just a sheen. It's not my favorite highlighter formula. I definitely have drugstore highlighters that I like more than this, but it's not bad. I think overall it gives my skin a nice natural glow. It actually does look really pretty on my skin. I think with a setting spray you could probably get this to be a little bit more intense. I'm not like the biggest fan of this. It's definitely not my favorite highlighter formula, but I don't think it's bad. At least it's not glittery. I'm gonna zoom you guys up and do my eyes, testing the new Rimmel palette. So yes, I'm not entirely sure what look I wanna do with this palette, but it's actually a really pretty array of shades. Like they're very jewel toned. One thing about this palette is that it really doesn't have any mattes in it. This purple shade right here is matte, the blue is matte, and this deep one here is matte. I wanna go in with this shade right here, this purpley shade, but I'm just gonna go super lightly because it is quite a dark color. I'm just going to lightly blend this into my crease and use this as my transition since I don't have a lighter shade. I feel like there's some discoloration happening on my left eye. It's looking kind of patchy on the left, but on the right, it blended out really nicely, really smooth. They're a soft formula, but they're not super powdery, which is nice. I think I'm gonna take my finger and go into the coppery shade here. It's like a reddish copper shade, and I'm going to apply this to my lid. Ooh, that is a stunning shade. This shade is super smooth and super soft. It feels really, really creamy, and it has super nice pigmentation when applied with my finger. Got a whole bunch of shadow on my lower lash line. I'm gonna take a smaller crease brush in that same purple shade we used earlier. I'm just gonna blend around the edges. I think I'm actually gonna take a little bit of this shade right here. It's more of a satin bronzy shade, so I'm going to use this to apply it to my crease as well. I don't normally take satins into my crease, but because we don't have a lot of mattes, I think this will help a little bit. I'm going to take some of that green shade. This is again like a satin shade. It's not quite matte and it's not quite a metallic, and I'm going to apply this to the outer corner of my eye. Ooh. Definitely green. Sometimes greens in drugstore palettes can be a little bit like murky and not quite as vibrant as they are in the pan, but this one's actually coming out pretty green on my eyes. I'm gonna take that initial blending brush we use with no product. I'm just gonna kind of blend around here. Okay, definitely getting a lot of fallout. I'm gonna take some of the deepest plum shade in the palette. It's like a very, very dark purple shade. I'm going to apply it to the outer corner. I'm just gonna layer some of that green right on top because I think it kind of disappeared a little bit. I'm also gonna smudge some of that bronze shade, and I want to smudge that along my lower lash line. I'm also gonna take some of that plum shade and apply it to my lower lash line as well. The deepest plum shade in the palette. Intensify the metallic shade on my lid because it definitely disappeared. This is probably a palette you want to use with an eyeshadow primer because they're not really sticking to my eyelids. They're kind of like blending away. For the brow bone and the inner corner, I'm going to take the metallic white shade in the palette and just pop that into the inner corner and on my brow bone. I think I'm going to take a little bit of the gold metallic shade in this palette. I'm going to just pop that on the lower lash line on the inner half. Okay, so I just applied some eyeliner to my waterline and my tight line and some mascara, and this is the completed look. It is definitely not the easiest eyeshadow palette to work with. I felt like I put in a lot of effort, and I have other eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore that I think take a lot less effort, like the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes, even some of the e.l.f. ones. I feel like this palette, I had to put in a lot of work to get the colors to blend and to kind of stick out. But that being said, I did not use an eyeshadow base, so maybe if I had used some kind of primer, these would have performed better. It's not a bad eyeshadow palette, I just don't think it's one of the better ones at the drugstore, and you can definitely find some that are a little bit more user-friendly. So that sums up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that it wasn't super boring. I know it was only 3 new products, but I hope you guys still found it helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and I will see you tomorrow in day 12. Bye!